this comes with Windows 10 Home. What the? Come on, let's get rid of that Windows Home. Let's get some Windows Pro. Copy and paste my code from the description. You can also get Office 2019. Just paste my code. Woof. It's Windows Pro time.
Woo! Yes, it's here. Finally, the MacBook Pro 16. And yeah, I'm going to slam this thing. Make sure you sub up, join the wood train, hit that bell, ding-a-ling-a-dong, and no one's going to slam this thing, possibly with the exception of Ash from Studio. I'm going to find out how noisy it is. Are the thermals improved? I'm going to unbox it, have a quick look. This is the base model. I do have the i9 coming as well, so make sure you sub up to see that. Make sure you follow me on Twitter because you'll see the benchmarks live. I'm going to compare it to that thing. So let's unbox it, have a look. Okay, so there is the box. I actually saw a few people in there picking these up. So that's one of the good things about Australia, and even in New Zealand, when they're not molesting sheep, they'll be able to get these early as well. So that's why we get them first, because of the time zone. Yeah, looks like a Mac. Ace of base model here. Ace of base model. I am filming with the iPhone as well, and I'm using the actual AirPods for a mic. So let me know how the mic quality is. So let's unbox this. Now, while I unbox this, I will talk about some of my concerns about this model, okay? So one of the things you need to know is there are some new parts. They're not imminent, but they're within 6 months. So I'll talk about what components will possibly get upgraded in this in the next 6 months or so, and whether you should buy it now. So this, of course, is the i7 model. Should be the 9750H 9th generation CPUs. The 10th generation CPUs are due sort of second quarter next year, if history is anything to go by. So this is a better box for a start. It's a bigger box. It's nice. Straight away, can I pick it up? I can notice it's bigger. I can notice it's chunkier. Bigger, you can notice. But it's still lighter than the XPS 15, and it's a 16 inch now. So, and it's pretty much lighter than most 15 inches and thinner too. So we'll just put that aside. We'll have a look. I will actually test if you go and buy one of these, because one of the problems with the last MacBook Pro is you'd have battery drain because it could use up to 100 watts of power. Now this is a 96 watt hour power pack, and I may put it on the old system, so the 15 inch, and see if I get battery drain anymore or if it increases the performance at all. So one of the things they said about this new one, 12 extra watts of power. So here we have the USB-C to USB-C cable charging. And is that it? Oh no, of course. The most important thing. Yeah, the most important thing. Space gray decals, stickers, whatever you want to call them. So as I was saying, 12 extra watts of sustained power. Now that might be, dynamic, meaning that, it could be 12 watts shared between CPU and GPU. But if you're just using the CPU, you should get an extra 12 watts, up to 12 watts sustained. So if it can get an extra 8 to 10 watts, I'll be happy. So, and then it will be nearly class leading. Wow. So here's the new keyboard. Let me feel it. Inverted T's. Okay. It's a nice keyboard. It is a nice keyboard, I can tell you that. It's not as clacky, not as loud. I don't mind the old keyboard. I don't like that the keys are smaller. There's more space between the keys and they're smaller. So one thing I hate when I go from the MacBook Pro to the previous one, one thing I hate about it is that, most other laptops have small keys. They've gone back to smaller keys, which I don't like. They are firmer keys. They've got better travel. To
use English as the main language, press the return key.
Yes, Siri. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so there you can see it compared to the old one. That's definitely the silver one, isn't it? Is that space grey? I'm going to have a look on the box. That is indeed space grey. It says on the box space grey, and it's a lighter shade than this one. What the? Okay. That's interesting. Maybe this gets tarnished over time. I don't know. But you can see there, the difference in the height. See the bezels are smaller. We will have a closer look at this later, but I want to really test the thermals and test how loud it is. So yeah, let's get into that.
Let's start recording. So the previous i9 would get around 3,000 on this. If you had maybe the i9, the 5 gigahertz would be 3,100. It just depends on the temperature. You know, ranging from 3,000 to 3,200. Now, a good PC with this same i7 processor in it would get around up to 3,000, nearly as fast as the i9 in the Mac. Now, this would sustain with the previous model around 48, 50 watts when you run Cinebench at the end, all right? We're going to get onto the noise in a sec. I will show you basically the decibels on each of them and how quickly they ramp up and how quickly they go down. But let's have a look at this. It's already 50 degrees. So why is it 50 degrees? Maybe because I'm outputting through HDMI into the capture card. That's a bit strange. Shouldn't be 50 degrees. But anyway, let's just run it and see how much wattage we can maintain. Let's see if it's got that 12 watts. Now the 12 watts will probably be dynamic. Let's just run it. We'll have a talk. So that means it can be shared between GPU and CPU. But you would expect if you're just doing a GPU test, you would get most of that 12 watts. And so, you know, look for this, the wattage up the top here. We want that to stay, all right, it's hit 100. It hasn't gone over 80 watts. So that's an interesting thing. With the previous model, it would go up to 100 watts and drain from the battery. This one, it's not going up to 100 watts. It's only peaking up to 80 watts. Now the fans are kicking in, and you'll be able to hear the fans in a sec. Because I haven't got any like noise reduction or anything like that, so you will hear the fans. And we're maintaining 52 watts, 46 watts. Now, we're 96 degrees. It's going to go to 100 degrees. Mac do that. So, interestingly, the other one, the other i9 would maintain, and it doesn't matter, i9, i7, the wattage will be the same. But this is 46 watts, okay? So it's less than the last i9. So now it's gone to 50. Now the fans are kicked in proper. So now we should see the wattage go up once the fans kick in and that temperature comes down. No, there's nothing special about this. I'm getting less wattage than I am with the i9. I was getting 48 to 50 watts. Now I'm only getting 48 watts. I'll hit 50 now. So I've hit 50 watts. Okay, so that's all right. And now it's just gone down. The test is over. No, the test is still going. And we're hitting 50 watts. And that's just temperature limited, it looks like there. It looks like it's hitting over 95, getting up towards the 100, and that wattage will go down. Of course, it's not going below base, but the other one can maintain. I will show you in the review. The other one can maintain 48 to 50 watts. So this is nothing special. This is actually maintaining less watts, if anything. Now it is a little bit warmer from when I tested that. And 2400, that's just run-of-the-mill sort of i7 sort of speed there. Now, of course, the i9 will be faster. Let's have a look with the GPU loaded and the CPU loaded together. Now, this is a good test because this will test the overall system sort of wattage, how much it can handle. Because that 12 watts may be just total system. Maybe it needs, you know, that extra 12 watts just for the graphics card. Now, this isn't the most powerful graphics card. This is the base model. So it's the 5300. And if we have a look, we'll just run this. So I'm going to run this and then Cinebench. So we're hitting the CPU and GPU 100%. I mean, I don't even bother watching these Mac people review these things. They don't know what they're doing. They just run Cinebench and just Intel Power Catch. It tells me nothing. Or run a, like, you know, render. Oh, look, it's above base. And it's like, what are you doing? Hit the CPU, hit the GPU 100%, and let's see what it does. So let's do that. Rendered select this now. So this is hitting the GPU. By the way, this GPU is nearly as fast as the Vega 20, and this is the base model. Nearly, not quite, but nearly as fast as the Vega 20. So I reckon you could get away with the i7 and the base model graphics, and you'd get similar performance graphics-wise. Now let's hit the GPU. Oh, so easy. Now let's hit the CPU. So we're hitting both now. We're hitting GPU and CPU at the same time. Now for reference, the i9 of the last model would maintain about 2 gigahertz and 30 watts once the GPU's lit up. So the GPU's 100% lit up now. Interestingly, even though we are running that GPU. Yes, we are running it. All right, so this is where the true power comes in, because we're maintaining 2.9 and 40 watts. This is an extra 10 watts. This is where it comes in here. Yes, we're hitting the GPU 100%. Now, if you have the higher end GPU, I don't expect that you're going to be getting 40 watts, but this is an extra 10 watts compared to what it was. No, it's gone down to 30 watts now. Okay. All right. So it's gone down. It's gone below base. All right. So that's nothing new here. 30 watts. It's exactly the same like the last one so far. But we don't know how power hungry these GPUs are. These GPUs may use much more than the other GPUs. Therefore, the actual system is using more wattage. But in terms of CPU, it's actually less. It's gone down to 25 watts. It's still 2.2. Yeah, no. The other one would maintain 30 watts. So that's the last model. The i9 would maintain 30 watts while the GPU was being hit 100%. And this one's only maintaining 25 watts. So it might be, naive to say that it's worse. It's not worse. We don't know how much more power these GPUs draw. So maybe it is better, but you see, now it's going above base. That means that GPU, you can see that bounce in there. The GPU is finished, and then the CPU will climb back up. And be interested to see what it hits. Straight away, it hits 50 watts. So that's pretty good. Yeah. It's nothing, I've got to say, it's nothing special. We don't know how powerful the GPU is again, but maintaining 50 watts, the XPS 15 would do 56 watts. So, yeah. The only, really good thing is you can get 8 gigabytes memory and the GPU should be faster. So 12 watts overall, yeah, maybe it does, but it's not, you're not getting reflected. It's not getting reflected in just CPU runs. It's obviously dynamic 12 watts.